Welcome back to Ration Nerd. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I really appreciate you guys. You are the ones who make this a whole lot of fun, so I greatly appreciate your participation. If you guys like what I'm doing here, it would really help out the channel big time if you would hit that subscribe button. Get a lot of views on my videos and not the subscribers to match, so either I'm doing something wrong or you're just not hitting that subscribe button. It would greatly help out me and the channel if you guys could hit that subscribe button. Help me out if you feel like what I'm doing here is worth your time. So let's get into this Taiwanese field ration, type A. So type A is going to be your breakfast ration. This thing is coming in at just under 1,500 calories. I'm actually having this for dinner, so I'm kind of mixing things up. These are not real easy to get. I would love to be doing the C or dinner version. I think all the contents are really similar through A, B, and C, so I don't really think it makes that much of a difference. Not a big difference anyway. But we're going to be having menu A. We're going to get into this guy, see what's inside, and have some fun with it. So this thing weighs in at just about the 1 pound mark, so not very heavy. Really cool packaging though. Not great for putting in a pack. You know, this thing would get kind of smashed because of its height, but you know, it is what it is. Let's crack into this guy and see what's on the menu for dinner, but breakfast, but dinner, but breakfast, whatever. To all you people that are active in the chat, I really appreciate you guys. I like talking to you. It's been a lot of fun. I've actually had some laugh out loud moments on the chat. That's epic, guys. Keep it coming. You guys know who you are. We're talking. We're having a good time. We're getting some giggles. We're sharing information. I even have some like Navy SEAL survival expert people that are telling me exactly about, you know, coffee and how it's bad for you. I don't really have much to say about that. Not at all in any way, shape, or form. I have nothing to say about the fact that coffee is bad for you in a survival situation. Nothing at all. Nothing to say. I'm just gonna like, hey man, you're a Navy SEAL or like survival or like Bear Grylls. You know exactly what you're doing. So obviously I don't. So just, you know, I appreciate it. You're number one. So let's crack into this bad boy and see what is on offer for menu A. So I did hit the exterior of this with a translator, and the translator went kind of nuts with this. So we are just going to open this up and figure out what's inside together. Let's open this up and see what we got here. We got these sides taped down. That's kind of cool. It feels like this is a Ziploc bag. That's very interesting. Well, that tore off nice. Look at that. Be nice and easy to keep this bag for my home wallpapering project. So me and Mrs. Ration Nerd did talk about that whole wallpapering thing today. That the jury's still out on that, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna wallpaper a room in ration bags. I'll tell you what, if I get to 5K subscribers, I'm gonna post some pictures of the room that I'm wallpapering in ration bags. So there's your goal, guys. If you can get another, I don't know, 4,000 plus people to join up, I'm gonna wallpaper a room in ration bags. It's gonna be epic. You guys are going to get a kick out of it. Mrs. Ration Nerd may or may not love me for it. Well, that certainly opened up nice and is going to allow me to keep this bag for the wallpaper project. It doesn't really have much of a smell. There's a little bit of smell going on in there. That's sniff check number 1. So it's pretty cool. Everything's contained in this little plastic tray. So first things first, we have an energy gel. That's very interesting. Feels kind of thick. That ought to be fun. Energy gel. What is that? Okay, that's some kind of gloopy stuff. You know what? We'll try to hit this with the translator, but if it does not work, we're just going to get a blind taste test of the bag of gloopy ingredients. Like, it's got some chunky bits in it. I'm kind of hoping that maybe that's a fruit spread. Crossing fingers. God, if this is some pickled cabbage stuff, I'm gonna freak out. All right, so we have an indeterminate bag of gloopy stuff. You got that. We have an energy bar. Hey, look, it's in English as well. How awesome. Dried cranberries. Where's my English on here? No dice. You put the mystery pouch of goop in there and you don't give me English, but you give me English on the cranberries and the energy bar. I call shenanigans. Complete shenanigans. Here we have another energy bar. And yet another energy bar. This looks like beef jerky. I hope it's beef jerky. If this is some kind, it could be fruit leather or something. But I'm thinking this is beef jerky. That looks pretty cool. We'll have to give that a go. So a yolk biscuit. So I would imagine that's an egg yolk biscuit. We have 3 yolk biscuits. What do we have here? No English translation. I think these are milk biscuits. I'm not 100% sure. So we have 4 milk biscuits. That's pretty interesting. We have a towelette or a napkin to clean yourself up with. I do really like the fact that this is individually wrapped. If any of the food items were to leak, they're not going to get on your napkin. So it doesn't, you know, you're not wiping weird pasty stuff on your bum when you're trying to use this to wash your butt. That's always good. Okay, this says B, C, and D. I have no clue what this is, to be quite honest with you. We're just going to have to open this up and figure it out. Maybe this is a multivitamin tablet, I think. I hope. We're going to have to find out, though. We're going to do that together, you and me. And then these feel like some hard candies. They're a little squishy, so maybe they're gels. Maybe these are jelly candies that have just gotten hard. But this thing is inside of its expiration date, so they should not have gotten that hard. So this is everything in the ration. I'm having crackers for dinner. Why? Just because I want to entertain you guys. I'm eating crackers and dried cranberries and weird stuff. I'm going to get this cracker fest out onto a tray. I'll be right back. Alright, so dinner here, which is actually breakfast, is looking pretty good. Maybe a little plain? But we're going to crack into this stuff. We're going to give it a try. We're going to see what we got. Let's start out by getting these yolk biscuits out. I have a feeling this is going to be a tough one to put down. This is a lot of crackers, guys. I hope that stuff is not heinous, because that would probably help get these biscuits to go down. They have a weird smell. They smell kind of like vanilla. You know, I'm going to be fair. These kind of smell like vanilla eggs. That's kind of weirding me out a little bit. I'm hoping that they do not taste exactly like they smell, because I would not make vanilla eggs for breakfast. That's got kind of a weird smell. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope they don't taste like vanilla eggs. Kind of feel like I should save some of these, but I come into every review hungry. And I come into every review hungry because I want to give the food the best possible chance of tasting good. You know, generally when you're hungry, things have a tendency to taste better. So coming into a review not being hungry would be a bad idea, because then you're not really going to enjoy the food. It's not really going to please you very much because you're already hungry. So I'm hungry. It's dinner time here in Ration Nerdland. Might as well just keep on going with the biscuit train and get these biscuits out onto the tray. Okay, they're definitely a different color. These look like chocolate biscuits. I'm really hoping they're chocolate biscuits. You know, that doesn't smell like anything. So I can't really tell you until I get a bite of those whether that's a chocolate biscuit or what type of biscuit it is. And I guess the one good thing about doing this ration is there's no prep. There doesn't seem to be anything to heat up. There's no drink mix. You just have this gel. So this is a field ration. I get it. If you're out in the field, you need things to be easy, but I feel bad for the Taiwanese guys. If they get issued 3 of these a day, what kind of boring meals are you having then if you're eating 3 of these a day? I know there's a self-heating meal that is generally issued throughout the course of the day as well. I've seen that on some other reviewers' channels. That's really cool. I'm looking to get one. These are pretty difficult to get at this point. So getting this one I was really excited about. I would have loved to have get one of the self-heating meals to go with it, but such is life. And I'm really impatient, so like setting this aside and waiting forever until I found a self-heating to go with it, that's not happening. Let's check out these cranberries. We're gonna make some room here. This is an itty bitty tiny bag of cranberries. Like, is there a cranberry shortage in Taiwan? Like, why do we only get this itty bitty tiny bag of cranberries? Can I have another cranberry? Just one more. Apparently not. Those look pretty good. They look sugared. Like they're coated in sugar. That could be interesting. So let's move this unknown substance off to the side here. We'll get into him in a minute. These energy bars out here. That looks like it could be chocolate or something like that. Well, that definitely has a chocolate smell to it. That's kind of neat. And energy bar number 3. And let's get this beef jerky out onto the tray. That's very interesting. That smells more like pork jerky. It smells pretty sweet. It's very interesting to say the least. Not quite really sure how they stabilize that. It is pretty greasy. It's interesting. I mean, it's kind of like a meat leather. You know, kind of like they make fruit leather, like fruit roll-ups. It's kind of like a meat roll-up. I mean, you heard it here first. If you see meat roll-ups out there on the market, that's my idea. Like, because I'm thinking about now, like, I need to market some meat roll-ups, like, hit the keto crowd really heavy. Meat roll-ups, made by Ration Nerd. That would be a great idea, like, just meat roll-ups. So if somebody else comes out with meat roll-ups, that's mine. You heard it here. I'm suing. Meat roll-ups is my idea. I really want to check out and see what is in here. This is definitely wrapped up in a nice foil package. So there's that tablet there. I wonder if this is a drink tablet or if this is a vitamin. That smells very heavy of vitamin C. I'm thinking that's a vitamin tablet. We're going to take a nibble of it here in a little while. We're going to figure that out. Let's at least get one of these jelly candies out so we can take a look. Maybe that's not gel. That's not a gel. It's more like a caramel. That's very interesting. And it smells like a caramel. That's awesome. I was expecting jelly candies. So let's get a little spoonful of this energy gel after we give it a little mix. I'm not really sure what flavor this is supposed to be, but we're going to give it a shot. I do like this nifty little container. It's kind of like a kid's applesauce container. That's not good looking. Like, I don't know why. Why the gel? Why can't you just give me a drink? Just give me a drink. Don't give me this weird gel type stuff. Like, it's not always very appetizing when you're looking at it. You're like, what exactly am I putting in my face hole right now? Like, what makes this gel? I don't know. Just give me a drink. Just make it a drink. You can have the same calorie content in a drink as you can a gel. Just make it a drink. You know, aside from the weird gel texture, it actually has a really good taste to it. It's kind of like somewhere between like a green tea and lime. That's just the taste that I'm pulling away from it, not necessarily to say that's the actual recorded flavor on this thing. But it definitely has like a green tea and lime taste. See, a special drink to supply carbohydrates equivalent to a rice ball, a source of energy for busy people and athletes as they get ready for work or competition, or combat, I guess, in this case. So that's pretty neat, and it's really not bad. Like, the taste of that is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. By far, this is 100 times better than the US energy gel. If you've ever had one of those, they just tend to have like a thick, weird, almost powdery texture. And it's gel. It's a wet gel. And once you get it in your mouth and kind of move it around, it has a weird powdery feeling to it. This does not have that. It's actually kind of refreshing. So as far as energy gels goes, this one's pretty decent. I'm still not crazy about the gel consistency, but this one's way better than the US energy gel. So I definitely give them props for that. This is pretty decent. May get another bite of that gel and all. I feel like if I squeeze this too hard, it's just going to shoot across the ration table and make a mess. Stay tuned. That could happen. So I guess it's time to get into this mystery bag. I really wish, like on this item of all things, they could have put this in English. It would have been great. I'm really hoping this is like a jam. It kind of looks like it. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Doesn't mean I'm going to get what I want. At least it opens nice. We're definitely going to have to put a sniff check on this because this is some weird looking packaging right here. Have a look at the interior of that. That's sexy, right? And unfortunately, that does not smell appetizing in any way, shape, or form. So, I'm not real sure about this. It literally smells like nothing. So that kind of concerns me. If it were some kind of jam, you'd figure it would have some kind of fruit smell to it. And, so we're just going to have to get a taste of this and see exactly what's going on. Definitely very sticky. That's why I was hoping it was some kind of fruit jam. So I'm just going to get a little bite in case this is hideous. So that's what we're working with here. Here's hoping that this is not nasty. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I'm not even really technically sure if I'm supposed to be eating this because, I mean, it seems like it's some kind of bean paste, but it's very flavor neutral, which is very off-putting, simply because the flavor is so neutral. You really don't know what it is. Like, is this like camo paint for my face or something? I'm not really sure. I guess it came in a ration, so maybe I should be eating this. I don't know. That's a very neutral flavor. I think this is really just designed to give you something wet to get all these crackers down. So we'll get back to that. That's a little odd. Let's give one of these energy bars a bite. Definitely smells like chocolate. You know, and that's not actually bad. That is actually like a very mildly flavored shortbread cookie. So like a very mildly flavored chocolate shortbread cookie. A little bit dry. Like you would definitely need something to drink with this. This is not hateful. You know, it's a little bit on the bland side, but it's actually pretty decent. You know, a spoon of that is just enough moisture to like clean up your mouth a little bit after eating something really dry like that. So let's try one of these yolk biscuits. They were kind of messing with me a little bit. They're nice and soft. And they definitely have a yellow color on the inside as if they are made with egg yolk. That's pretty interesting. Let's get a bite of that. You know, fortunately, that does not live up to the smell, and that's great. It has a pleasant, sweet taste with just a mild hint of vanilla. There is a bit of I want to say an egg flavor to it, because there really is. But however they combine the ingredients in this, the smell and the taste certainly don't go hand in hand, which is nice. It literally does taste like a vanilla cookie that's made with egg, because you can certainly taste the egg in it. But it really is not bad. I mean, I thought it was going to be, especially if you gave me a hard, crunchy egg, I would kind of turn my nose up at it. These really aren't horrible. They're not that bad. I'm wondering what they're going to taste like with some goofy bean paste or whatever this stuff is on there. Try one of these chocolate biscuits. It looks pretty decent. With the chocolate biscuits, The chocolate flavor on these is really on the backside of the flavor. Like the chocolate is an afterthought to the aftertaste. That's when you taste the chocolate. They're not bad. They're ever so slightly sweet. These are pretty dry. Not a lot of flavor to them. They're okay, but they certainly are looking for something to make them a little moist, and our only option is some pasty stuff. So we'll give it a try. One thing I can say, there's not really much that's strange about this ration, except for this weird pasty stuff, and I'm really thinking this is a bean paste. Otherwise, everything's just kind of bland so far. Let's check out this beef leather, our meat roll-up over here. Well, it was nice and easy to bite into for sure. It's a little bit smoky and very sweet. This is actually pretty good. It has a hint of spice on the end, and it has a bit of a processed flavor to it. Not like a natural beef jerky. I mean, you can tell just by the sheets that this thing came in. This is definitely a processed meat. That said, it's actually pretty good. It's sweet, it's slightly smoky with a little bit of hint of heat at the end. This kind of has a sweet American barbecue sauce flavor with a little bit of spice at the end of it. This really isn't bad for a piece of processed meat. I think in this, I would have preferred to see something like a real beef jerky, but this is pretty decent. It's kind of like a much thinner version of a Jack Link. You know, it's kind of crazy. I pick on U.S. rations quite a bit, but a U.S. ration, a U.S. MRE, is way more interesting than this thing. I mean, this is just basically a bunch of biscuits and random stuff, and you're going to get 3 of these a day, and then just like one self-heating meal. This is pretty rough, to be fair. Like eating a bunch of crackers, and that's what you get for your breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, calorie-wise, you're getting a lot, but this is a huge carb load. I mean, you have a ton of carbs and not much in the way of the protein department. So I guess we're going to try to pair some of this relatively flavorless bean paste with one of these yolk biscuits. So we're going to get a big old scoop of it on here, which I guess your bean paste is going to give you some, protein. Maybe that's the whole point of it, is just the protein boost from the beans. I mean, they could have at least flavored it, so that way it had some flavor to it. And it kind of looks like, a movie prop. Like it's like some alien goop that's like left behind on the wall after Sigourney Weaver, melts some aliens with a flamer or something. That's pretty much what that stuff looks like. It's kind of on the rough side, to be fair. I mean, quite honestly, that's pretty weird. It's not great. It's not horrible. It helps the cracker go down. And I get the idea why you put it in there, for the protein boost. But they could have at least flavored it. Whether it would be salty or sweet, or savory, just something to add some interesting flavor to the ration. This pretty much just makes that cracker wet. And then it has some weird chunky stuff on the top that is kind of hard to process inside of your head because you're thinking it should taste like something and it really doesn't taste like much. It doesn't really enhance the flavor of the biscuit. It just makes it moist. That's really all it does. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but we're going to go with bean paste on a chocolate biscuit. I mean, I don't really think it could hurt anything. I think it's just going to make this chocolate biscuit wet, just like it did to the yolk biscuit. I mean, this stuff is very flavor neutral. It honestly doesn't even taste like beans, and that's the weird part. I mean, you can actually see the beans in it. It doesn't even taste like beans. Like, how do you get the bean flavor of a bean to go away? What exactly did you add to this to remove the bean flavor? With my luck, this is going to be all of the gas and none of the flavor that come with beans. So just later on, I'm going to be torturing Mrs. Ration Nerd with this bean paste. And I'm just not getting a whole lot of benefit from it on the front end. I mean, this is definitely a strange ration item. It's a strange ration. I mean, not really, I guess. You just basically have a bunch of crackers and some random stuff. But as far as like keeping a soldier happy in between whatever they're doing, whether it's fighting, marching, whatever military stuff they happen to be doing, this ration is not going to make for a happy soldier in between meals. This is pretty boring. And that's just as strange on a chocolate biscuit as it was on the yolk biscuit. I think it was actually better on the yolk biscuit than it was on the chocolate. I just think the lack of flavor that comes with this bean paste goes better with the yolk biscuit than it does the chocolate. My mouth is starting to get really like cemented by the biscuit eating. That bean paste really isn't even helping with the moisture. So I guess we're going to definitely have to rely on this energy gel so like we don't just weld our mouth shut with cracker cement. If you're sitting a soldier down to a meal and this is what he's getting, this sucks. It just sucks. Well, I guess we'll give these cranberries a little nibble because they're staring at me and I really like cranberries. So I definitely want to give these guys a try. They look really natural, and I do like the fact that they're not coated in like oil to keep them from sticking together. They actually have a sugar coating, which is very nice. Let's give those a bite. Honestly, those cranberries are absolutely excellent. So much softer than a normal dried cranberry that I've had here in the US. These are very moist, very soft and very chewy, extremely pleasant, super sugared. I mean, they're very sweet, but not in a bad way at all. Somehow or the other, all the tartness has been extracted from these. These are very sweet and very sweet. There's really no bitter or tart follow-up. Now, I do like that tart follow-up to cranberries, but this is just a different style of dried cranberry. Very good. The best thing thus far in the ration was absolutely the cranberries. You know, it's a real shame. I'll be honest with you guys, this ration cost me quite a bit of money. And it's kind of on the boring side. Feeling kind of bummed about it. I was really looking forward to this. Everything being so dry, it's just so... I knew it. It just couldn't come to pass that I wasn't going to do something that stupid. Anyway, it is getting pretty hard to continue to eat these crackers. It's just like drying my mouth out like crazy. I think this is like this must be the Thai punishment ration. Like if you're a naughty soldier, you get the cracker box. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I think that's like my nickname for this thing. It's the cracker box, because really that's what you get. You get a box of crackers and some other random crap. This is pretty rough. This is like a punishment. I mean, I guess for me, it's kind of a punishment, because this is a really fun hobby, so this is my punishment. Like, I have some really cool rations, and every once in a while I come across one of these I think is going to be epic, and then I get into it, and it's more like punishment. Well, I think the only thing left to do is try to create something a little different. So maybe we try to do what I did with that French pilot ration and failed to do, which was make that energy bar or that survival bar in that French ration into some kind of porridge. I think that might be the gig with this, because otherwise this is just... it's torture. To be honest, I would take a bad USMRE over this any day. So let's make that into a mess, because what else do you do? And I'm not worried about putting too much water in it, because to be honest, I can make more cracker dust to chuck in there. So we're going to give that some time to hydrate. I was getting ready to say rehydrate, but considering these things were never hydrated in the first place, that's kind of a misnomer. Oh, that looks appetizing. Super appetizing. I don't know. Let's try to mix it up a little bit. Let's make a chocolate biscuit processed beef jerky sandwich. I mean, that's sexy, right? Like, that ought to be good. Maybe not, but we're going to give it a go anyway, because what else do you have to do with this thing? So, chocolate biscuit beef sandwich. Hey, maybe that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That's actually not hateful. The sugary coating on that beef actually produces some moisture in your mouth and helps you get this cracker down. Chocolate biscuit or not, that was actually kind of a decent bite. I'm weighing that against every other bite that I've taken thus far, which has been really dry and kind of painful. You know, this is going to be my Sunday video, and I think I would have preferred to have done this for a Wednesday, like make it a much shorter video. There's not a lot here that's very interesting or fun to talk about because it's super boring. Like, they could probably just give this to prisoners, like in like our own prison system. Like get 3 boxes of crackers a day or something like that. Must be pretty cheap to feed a prisoner, I would imagine. This is pretty ugly. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. That's definitely ugly. And there's nothing else in here to sweeten it up. I guess I hate to do it, but I can put a few cranberries in there. But I hate to waste them because the cranberries are the most flavorful thing in this entire ration. So I guess we'll get a bite of this porridge mush. We do have a cranberry in there. I know you guys want to get a close-up of this. That's absolutely appetizing. It actually kind of looks like slightly burnt scrambled eggs. That's kind of messing with me a little bit. I mean, this is not the worst thing I've ever eaten. But by far, this is just like an emergency way to get these crackers in your face hole if you need the nutrition. This is not great. It's not even good. It's just there. Cranberries, when I do get one, they just kind of get lost in this odd mushiness. You know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to anybody. I was just trying to do something different and see if I could get these things to go down. It's just weird. For what this ration costs, I definitely don't recommend this. Quite honestly, I would have been... I mean, I want to eat every ration from all over the place. You know, that's like my goal. I'm probably never going to get there, but I'm going to give it hell. But I could have lived without eating this ration. And I love doing ration reviews. I love eating them. I love trying them out. I mean, this was fun in its own way, but I definitely could have lived without this ration. This was definitely pretty boring. I am not going to seek another one of these out. If I could find one of the Thai self-heating meals, I would definitely go after that. But even if these were much cheaper, I don't even think I would go after another one. This has been enough for me. Like, I'm going to get some ever so slightly different components, but a whole bunch of crackers that I'm going to turn into some weird, wet, mushy product just to get it down? Nah. Check out this vitamin. At least that's what I think it is. With my luck, this will wind up being like an Alka-Seltzer and make me look like a rabid bulldog here in a second, but we'll get a little bite of it just to make sure. That's great. That totally is. It's totally a drink tablet. I'm going to leave that in the video because that's priceless. Never, you know, I'm just not going to edit that out. It's way too funny. Let's take our fizzy drink tablet and put that over there where it belongs, because that was pretty funny when that hit my mouth and it started bubbling. That is definitely an effervescent drink tablet, as you can see. I completely boned that up. That was a whole lot of fun, though. It just kind of hitting what little saliva was in my mouth and just started to fizz. Check out that guy just bubbling away, doing his thing. Like, maybe after you eat all these crackers, you really just need an Alka-Seltzer. So, word to the wise, if you do break down and get this ration for whatever ungodly reason, you just like to torture yourself with some super dry crackers, that there is an effervescent drink tablet. If you put that in your mouth, it will begin to instantaneously fizzle. It will be pretty funny. It's definitely having a little bit of trouble dissolving in there, but that's okay. At least there's something interesting in here. If I'd have known that was going to be that much fun, I would have stuck that in my mouth like halfway through this review. If you made a Tootsie Roll into a dry shortbread cookie, that's exactly what this tastes like. It tastes like a Tootsie Roll version of a cookie. It's kind of crazy. Let's get a taste of that effervescent drink. Honestly, that's not good. It's pretty bitter. It's not very sweet at all. I could dilute this with some more water. The only thing that would do is make it taste weaker. It has a little bit of sweetness, a whole lot of bitterness, a whole lot of vitamin flavor. It being effervescent and bubbly just really doesn't do anything for either the flavor or the feel of it when you're drinking it. This may have some vitamins in it. This is a pretty poor way of getting vitamins into a soldier because this doesn't even taste good. I don't know what exactly they're thinking with this ration, but they need to rethink it. Let's give this, hopefully, caramel candy a try. That caramel candy had a really sweet, milky flavor. It was really unique. It definitely tastes like caramel, but it also almost has a condensed milk flavor added to the caramel, which was really nice. Very different, very surprising burst of taste in this ration. I hate to leave food items behind in a ration, especially considering the amount of money you pay for these things. And generally they're really interesting and I'm having a good time with them. But I'm just really done. Like, I can't put any more crackers down. I'm surprised I was able to put that many of them away. I might take a few more bites of this energy gel, but that's pretty much it. This ration is done. This was great to experience one time, but other than that, I guess we will check out our napkin here. This is actually a moist towelette, which is nice. That's pretty strong. You could definitely clean yourself up with that. Almost no smell, which isn't a bad thing. It is nice and moist. Definitely needed that after some of the goop, the bean goop I got on my hands. This is actually a really nice towelette. This would be good for wiping the back door even after you get done cleaning up your hands. Get a little backdoor wipey action. That's real nice. Hello everybody, thanks for joining me here on Ration Nerd for menu A of a Taiwanese field ration. This was definitely a boring affair. I feel bad for Taiwanese soldiers. I don't know how they're putting 3 of these down a day. It's just pretty rough. It's unnecessary roughness. They should really do better. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, talk to me in the chat. It is always good to talk to you guys. Been having a lot of fun having conversations on the channel with people. I will definitely put something more interesting on the table next time. This was unique. Can't get them very often, but this was not very interesting. Not a whole lot of fun. If you find one and you really want to spend the money on it, go for it, but I definitely would not recommend. But thanks for joining me, guys. Until next time, eat them up. Unless you get Cracker Fest, in which case I might just sit it on a shelf and just let it look cool. But eat them up, guys.